Have you heard
Have
you heard the philosophical concept that in Star Trek when they get teleported
to a hater?
Yeah, that. But also in Star Trek when you get teleported, if you technically are killed and then your matter is vaporized somewhere like in a perfect clone of yourself, does your consciousness still live on, or did you die and a new version of you was created?
That's a very interesting way to watch Star Trek, I'll say that.
I've thought
so which Captain Kirk are we on now? Like 37?
Would you guys do that? I feel like that's scary.
That's what I'm saying. It's terrifying,
they keep everything, so there's nothing to suggest that it isn't the same consciousness, or at least that if it's a different one, it's such a flawless transition that who's to argue that it is even a different one? But still, the idea of it is
it makes you think, because if they can down to the atom duplicate you and or turn you into atoms and then bring you back in exactly the same atoms, you get for a fraction of a second you are nothing. When you come back, is it still you seeing right now? Or does he die, but then he comes back, but because he's exactly you, you're just like, oh, I'm back. But
I'd argue you come back and you have autism.
Yum, that's good. That's beef, babe. Oh, I'm about to beef.
Before we started recording this, we thought we saw some of our esteemed viewers,
Discordians,
in the Beef Boys Discord and voice chat, and we were like, we'll nip it and say hey before we start recording. And they were watching Harley Quinn roleplay fart porn.
Love you guys.
Very proud.
Keep it up, boys. You're making us all proud. Yeah, I thought that was very fitting.
Discord if you're interested in that. I'm sure you are.
We have weekly Harley Quinn fart porn roleplay nights,
where we all collectively jack off.
And if you sit in the voice chats, I usually will join a couple of times a day and just spam my soundboard and then leave without addressing you at all. So if you're interested in that.
The other day we did we were doing the thumbnail. We usually hang out and voice chat and shoot the shit while we do that, and then afterwards I saw there was two guys chatting, so I was like, hey, let's go visit our esteemed patrons, our esteemed Discord members. We fucking jumped in there. I think all of us spammed our soundboards for a good minute straight, and then
we just jumped in and we were like
and then everyone left except for me, and I was like, just something for you guys to think about for next time. And we just left.
Fuck. We should do an official intro. Hey, bitch, welcome to Beef Boys. What's up?
Hello. I'm about to bust.
How are you?
Hello.
There's not five of us.
Hey,
we kicked Drumsy out. He kept fingering the Chipotle machine or whatever the fuck they have at Taco Bell.
What the fuck?
Welcome to Beef Boys.
Hello.
Beef Boys.
Hi,
home
mommy.
of the beef.
I'm about to bust.
Hey. What a great
intro.
intro.
Do you guys want to talk about video games?
I'd like to talk about something. Today was the PlayStation Showcase, and it got me thinking that we are past the era where we can get excited for these types of events where they announce new games and you're like, fuck yeah, my penis is at full mast. I'm gonna get something that I want, right?
I'm talked.
And I feel like we're past that, because I realize that I go into these things with my expectations very tempered, and typically I'll either walk out very disappointed or just kind of like, that was fine.
Yeah.
Did you boys watch the PlayStation Showcase today?
I was working during it, but once you said that you wanted to talk about it, I tried to consume all of it in 10 minutes on 200 speed. So
James is just like Neo in the Matrix, just
I'm
fucking downloading it all.
Fucking learning karate.
Oh, these look okay.
Morpheus, I'm gonna kick you now. I have an analysis, and this is just in general. Okay. I don't think I've enjoyed a game showcase in 3 or 4 years, and really enjoyed one in probably 5 or 6 years. And I think there's multiple reasons, and it's weird because there's an inverse relationship between the older ones used to have the lows were like through the fucking floor.
They're so cringy.
Like the cringe was insane, which we've kind of mostly gotten rid of.
Minecraft in 4K.
But the highs were like astronomically more fucking fun than they are now. And I think one is everyone just left E3 and hosts their own shit, and they refuse to have like crowds or anything. And I get that was like for COVID,
And
I guess, at the beginning, but like at this point, like everything's going on again, even if there still is COVID and shit. So like, I don't know. It seems like they're never gonna go back to crowds. And two, I think one of the biggest things is like, name me a franchise right now, a franchise, not like a good one-off or like just like games. Name me like a franchise that hasn't been around for like 10 plus years already, because like that is what you really get excited for at a game showcase, because like a game could be incredible and look incredible, but it'll never get me jumping out of my seat and fucking beating my dick off if I don't,
especially if you don't know what it is.
Exactly. Well, if I don't know what it is, like I could be really excited by the end of its trailer, but if I don't know what it is going into it, it's like, what do I have to be excited for? And at this point, how many times can you get excited for like Battlefield or Call of Duty or something? Like, we've lost. There's no, like, so many new games are being made, but none of them are like long-standing or interesting or like have enough depth to like turn into a franchise. And there's nothing to get excited about if not a franchise, because like you can say a game looks good, but you know, that's the end of it, because you haven't played it yet and you have no connection.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're getting the 5th release of Skyrim.
Yes!
And another
Is it seriously only 5?
So
Is it only 5? It feels like 6 or 7.
I don't know. It's a million. I'm still gonna buy it. Catch me fishing by the pond at Riften.
Dude, you can just do that in real life now that you're in Alaska.
Both.
Yo, that's true. Andrew lives in Skyrim now.
That's true.
He's perpetually getting his sky rimmed. I'd like to add to what you said as well, James, a third point that kind of bums me out about game showcases. What was the PlayStation 1 live streamed on YouTube?
Yeah.
Or was it
live streamed?
Yeah.
It wasn't live.
Yes. But yeah, it wasn't live, but they premiered it or whatever.
Exactly.
The third point is the chat on those things is the most depressing fucking thing you've ever seen.
Among Us 2!
Because even like, but no, because it's just the most like negative, like downtrodden fucking,
Xbox
you know, like
could never, you stupid Xbox nerds, and then the Xbox nerds are like, this is freaking stupid. Like,
just everyone's like bickering. Even if like a game was kind of like sort of cool, they'll be like, ow, cringe,
exactly.
And then like
Among Us 2, Fortnite 2. That you see a lot of that. It's just
I think I might have mentioned this before, but I've been watching during BlizzCon when they announced Burning Crusade Classic, and they had like the woman who came out and introduced it, well, was a woman, and immediately the chat just like starts like going like off at her, like making fun of her appearance and shit, and just like bullying her. And it's like, she's just introducing the game, man. Calm down. That was a really put a sour taste in my mouth. It's just like, come on.
No, the chats are always like that. You can't replace like as much as it is a meme, like sitcoms and shit, especially from like the 90s and early 2000s with audience tracks and everything. Like there is a reason that was brought to fruition and then existed for like 40 or 50 years and like still does, because it works. Like having other people visually and audibly prompt you, like even if you were completely aware of it, it still makes you more hyped because you're involved in like some kind of community event. And like seeing it in a chat, and of course people are either vying for attention, they're abusing anonymity, or they're just trying to like sway people like in their demented direction. Like there's no genuine feedback in those chats. There's no like, oh my god, this is so epic, because the oh my god, this is so epic when like God of War 2 pops up or something is riddled with a bunch of, you know, Xbox people being like, no, God of War is actually gay. So
this isn't Among Us 2.
It's been scientifically proven God of War's gay.
and I'm an Xbox guy, so when Xbox does shit, PlayStation does the same thing. It's so pathetic, and the internet doesn't replace real life. I don't get why everything is just like stay in your house and do nothing. It's like, fuck me.
Well, there's like I'm sure you guys have gotten recommended like those E3 crowd reaction videos to like certain trailers.
Those are fucking
there's like
hot.
moments. Yeah, there are moments that you just cannot replicate with like just, I mean, well, for one, obviously, COVID fucked up a lot of like just game development to where we don't get anything that people would be hyped up about anyway. But aside from that, these premiere things, it's like, I remember when Mortal Kombat 11 got announced, okay? It was during, I think it was the Game Awards, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were giving out the award for the best sports game, okay? Total fucking bait and switch. They were giving out an award for the best sports game, and then fucking Scorpion Spear like hits the monitor.
Kills Tom Brady and fucking pulls out Mortal Kombat.
But I mean, it's like that bait and switch. Like people don't give a fuck about sports games, right? So it's just like to hype people up, or to like bring people down really fucking low, and then hype people up with like a new entry in like a very long running franchise. Yeah, like that, and also the announcement of the Resident Evil 2 remake are easily like the best fucking announcements that cannot be replicated in this.
Yeah, there's
Cyberpunk as well, where they like hacked into it. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
The idea of like, and like that's a whole, you know, that's a whole like another subset of jobs and everything too. And like there are people who are just like so honed in on like how to do that. You know, just like I guess people that can make trailers well and everything. But like the Sony thing today or whatever, it's just like a video game, some dude talking to you, and then like just really big 3D modeled buttons with like Requiem for a Dream behind them, and then the next game trailer.
And video games.
And the Nintendo one.
Video game?
The Nintendo one, I don't even remember when it was. It was sometime over the summer.
Mommy.
But I watched it and it was like they kept doing their fucking stupid Nintendo like Switch, you know, like snap or whatever sound.
Every 2 seconds.
It missed by like 3 or 4 seconds every single time, and it was all pre-recorded and everything. It's like how you have pre-recorded on your side and you somehow have more latency than like people performing on a stage and shit. It's like so stupid.
On the flip side, the fucking Smash Bros Ultimate like full roster reveal that's also one of the most like hype reveals.
That was the best.
Like like just seeing all the people lose their shit to that, like when they had the Everybody's Here trailer, was like, They did that at
like
they did that at BlizzCon
it's long-running franchises that just get my fucking people.
I'm about to bust.
There's no long-running franchises on their way in right now because like the market is so saturated and people's attention span is so fucked. I mean, like, we all know this. This isn't just, like, boomer talk anymore. Like, it's just... Games can't fucking last unless they're games as a service, which automatically turn them into a gimmick within a year. And, like, without games being able to last because everything's so saturated and every single fucking commodity is vying for your attention at all times, you can't build a franchise because you can't build a dedicated fan base that is just there for the experience and not there to be, like, ogled at every day to keep your attention. And like and without franchises you lose like 50% of what makes like the gaming community like worthwhile. Gaming will always have its merit, obviously, but the community is nothing without like consistent fan bases and console wars and all the, you know, like it's so disappointing. And it's like, when does it go, when does it, you know, can it turn back? It was already heading this way before COVID. COVID just expedited it. Everyone was leaving E3 and doing all these pre-made things and everything before because you can make better trailers and shit for it. But like, and because E3 was fucking shit up. But like, obviously, it's not going to turn back. Like, there's no monetary incentive for these companies to not do this anymore. And that's just such a sad thought that basically like, we're not complaining about this as like, this sucks that it has to happen for the last year. It's like, no, this is just the beginning of what game events are going to be forever now. And that's so depressing.
No hype anymore. I miss the hype. That's what I miss the most. Like Scott the Woz, he has that series where he'll review E3s like throughout the years, you know? And like it's crazy to see like back in like 2002, right? Like
he goes back and does the old ones, and those are the best.
Like they are so fucking good. Like it blows my mind that we had that much like in that year, you know what I mean? Now it's just like I remember when the Wii was just constantly getting fucking shovelware, and like people were just like, oh yeah, we ignore these games. But now I feel like shovelware is just coming to all these other consoles, and every once in a while you get like a good fucking one-off like Ghost of Tsushima, but that's only because it was, you know, made by like a reputable studio. I guess
it's more like studios, I think, that are really taking the interesting risk. I was also thinking, like, you know, the PlayStation 2 era probably had some of the, like, PS2, Xbox original had such a crazy lineup of games. I think it was because there was that perfect mix of games were cheap enough to develop but looked good enough. Like you go back to PS1, like N64, it's like I'm nostalgic for them, but they do objectively look like shit.
Yeah.
The PS2 was like there's enough like power where they look good enough, and they could take risks and do all sorts of weird things, and development time didn't take 50 years. Now we're kind of in that point where like high-end graphics require really big teams, which means a lot of money, which means no one wants to invest money in something which could potentially flop or be risky. But I do think with stuff like Unreal Engine 5 and new graphics software and like Quixel and other photogrammetry things, these things are becoming more and more accessible to even just like indie studios. So I think over time, I think it is hopefully going to go back to that in some small capacity, where no longer will you have to sacrifice gameplay for graphics, because anyone can just have good graphics, and suddenly people can be like, all right, well, now everyone just has good graphics because Unreal Engine just looks good by default, or whatever other engines are floating around, and now we can start making some weird shit again. That's what I'm hoping for.
But the thing is
I want the weird shit. Give me the weird shit.
I think, and indie games are like you said, like the barrier to entry is lower than ever, and just because like the tools you have at your disposal and like our ability to, if the internet's done anything, it's like really expedited, like being able to share like knowledge with each other, and like really like not just like you plug this in and this works. It's like, oh, I figured out how to rework this, and it expedites your workflow and like all this stuff. So like the floor is low, the barrier to entry is lower than ever, but like the top end is so fucking high. It's the same thing with YouTube. It's like there's so much saturation, and the barrier to entry is so low, but the ceiling is so fucking high that like you'll never have more than just a niche audience like in that like indie area, whereas like all the games that we love now were all like independently developed like 25 years ago, and
that's true.
There's just huge, there's like 90% of the studios are owned by like 4 companies at this point, and
like Kellogg's and stuff. I wanted to bring up on that topic of games looking like shit. I went to war a week or 2 ago. I got attacked by Pokemon Twitter.
Oh no!
It was my most viral tweet of all time.
Here we go.
See, wait, it went that was big. That was me when I saw the fucking likes starting to blow up on it. But so if you guys haven't seen, there's a new Pokemon game coming out. That was me waking up the next day to like 1 billion subtweets. But if you haven't seen this new Pokemon game, Pokemon Arceus or some shit, I don't even know. It looks like Arceus, if you know what I mean. But it's a twist on the classic Pokemon formula. Theoretically, they kind of build it as like, oh, it's like Pokemon meets Breath of the Wild, except Breath of the Wild was a good game. But like the trailer for this game is awful. Like it looks bad, like just objectively bad. And there's one screenshot in particular that it honestly looks like when I was learning 3D 10 years ago, and you fuck around in like Unity engine and like download some like free tree asset and plonk it around.
So you're in that field. So just to like, because Pokemon has such a rabid fan base, which you're about to get to, but like that isn't like what you're seeing in that isn't like a stylistic choice, right? Like there's some kind of like failure in their process for developing this game that makes it look that bad. It's not like a new style.
No, that's what baffles me, is I genuinely don't understand why it looks like that. Like, because it's just a fuck up. Like I can't think of any other reasons, because some people were saying it looks bad because it's like, oh, it's on the Switch, and the Switch obviously has like limited graphics, but like there's like Genshin Impact is on the Switch, and Genshin Impact's on fucking phone, and that game looks.
Doom Eternal is on Switch.
I mean, Doom Mario Odyssey is on the Switch, and that game looks fucking pretty too.
Mario Odyssey looks amazing. Zelda looks amazing, and those are both like major franchises by Nintendo in the same league as Pokemon. Pokemon's worth more than both of those.
Is this a main title entry for Pokemon, or is this just
this is like. It's like a spin-off-y thing, but it's still
But it looks like Sword and Shield. And Sword and Shield, in my opinion, still look like ass.
Yeah, Sword and Shield also look like shit, but this is like, this has this whole like exploration kind of element, like component to it. At least that's sort of what it's billed as. And it's like, why the fuck would I want to explore a world that looks like dog shit? It blows my mind that
let me just go poke around my own feces and I'll accomplish the same thing.
Yes. It's just crazy. There's this giant studio that's worth billions of dollars, and they're making a game with a team of probably 100 odd people, and they're making a game that looks worse than I literally put up examples of indie studios of like 1 or 2 people that have significantly better looking games. Like it's not just like graphical errors and fuck ups, which this game appears to have, but it's just like stylistically it's boring. It's like desaturated and like bland, and just, you know, even if you worked on a console from like 10 years ago, like, I mean, they say a lot of people are doing these like PS1 style games, like horror games and shit, and like
Puppet Combo.
I said, which Dopix is in.
He is in. Yeah,
I am in a Puppet Combo game.
But like those games have like strong art direction, where even if they're limited by this low poly style, it's still like stylistically looks good. It's like,
that's the thing. There's no stylistic definition to this Pokemon game. Like, it looks like you took the Pokemon style, said we want to get a little bit of a spin on this because this isn't a main entry, and then outsourced it to like a sweatshop in like some country, or like not even a meme, and like there's just no style. Like, any game is saved by like style. That's the whole fucking like PS1, PS2, GameCube, like and everything before era. It's like, obviously the graphics aren't good, but if you find a style, like, I don't know.
Like Wind Waker still looks amazing, and that, like, not even necessarily the HD remake, just like load up. I mean, it's low. It's like low FPS and low quality. Yeah. But stylistically, it's still like graphically nice to look at.
Yeah, Valheim is made by like 5 people. And that's a game that came out in 2020, and like immediately was competing with like the biggest games on Steam. And it's like one of the most gorgeous games I've ever played. But like it's the fidelity is kind of ass. But they leaned into that by like throwing all of these like fogs and like depth of field shit on it, where like exactly like you used you stylistically took its flaw and then used it into like creating a style rather than a graphic.
Well, I feel like in the case of Pokemon specifically, because I remember, like, as a kid, I loved Pokemon, and I always wanted a game that was like basically like an RPG, like a 3D RPG. And then Pokemon Coliseum came out on the GameCube, and I fucking loved it. And it looked great. And then, like, when they did Sword and Shield, I was like, cool, we're getting this again. And then when I played it, I was like, this still kind of looks like ass. And I don't know why. I know they have the ability to do it. I honestly think it's laziness. Not laziness. I think it's just trying to make it for cheap, you know?
I was disappointed by Coliseum because it was a Coliseum. Like, I thought it was going to be like the Game Boy games, but on GameCube, like, I was like, I'm going to be able to explore the whole world and do this. So pretty much this game that is coming out is what I wanted like 20 years ago. And so I think maybe that's why I'm really ribbing it. But so, I tweeted that out, tweeted out this image being like, it was just a meme post saying, Pokemon, please buy some Unity assets for the love of God, because this picture had literally like one tree model.
It did look really bad.
Yeah, it was
one tree model. It was a low poly tree model, and they fucked up the normals on it. So the way when you make a tree, you have to set it up so that the faces are facing in a specific way so that it catches light on the top. Because if you don't, it'll like think the shadows are meant to be on top of the leaves instead of the bottom. Right, so there's just like these big like black shadows casting like onto it. It just looks bad.
It looks like
one or two tree types.
No, it looks like and I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Breath of the Wild was released on the Wii U and obviously had to take like major scale backs and like foliage, shadow quality, water quality, like ambient occlusion stuff. It was at like 30 frames or maybe even less, and it looks like that. It looks like a game that was developed for like a console that was way stronger than it is, and then like forced to be on something like that could only handle like a quarter of like what it's meant to be. It looked like barren.
And the Switch has been out for 6 years, and they're coming out with a new one.
Yeah.
The Switch isn't a new console; it's an old console at this point.
That's so crazy that it. 2017.
6 years, got it. Yeah. Maybe they were making this game for the fucking GameCube. I don't know, but like it's just so I made fun of that, and then all of a sudden I started getting likes and tweets and shit. And then I was fucking talking to a historian about it, And I was like, God damn it, this tweet's blowing up. I don't want it to. And so he fucking comments on it, which just made it worse.
Oh no. Yeah. Wait, we didn't touch on you actually getting blown up about it, did we?
No, not yet. So that's what I'm
think
getting into now.
you messaged when it was at like a couple hundred likes in the chat, and you were like, "This is it." Like in our like Twitter group chat, and you were like, "Yeah, this is fucked. I don't want this."
So the people thought I was either a massive Pokemon fan having a whinge, or it was Pokemon fans being like, "Wow, look at these trolls trying to fuck with Pokemon again," like defending it.
Antis.
Yeah, and so then because someone responded with like, "Oh, you cherry picked that image. Here's some other images where it doesn't look like shit, and they also look like shit." And I was like, "Alright, you got me."
Nice try,
So anyway,
bitch.
the funniest thing I did was I at the end of the night I was like, God damn it, the last thing I want to do is go in and like defend myself, because like what's the fucking point? Like,
Yeah,
A, I don't
it's Twitter,
care.
who
B, I'm not
cares?
going to change anyone's mind. And so all I could think to do was like just fuck with people. So I went on the Unity asset store, since like my whole tweet was about that, and I found like the shittiest models I could find, like a barrel and like a low poly skull. And I took screenshots of those, and I responded like here, you could use this, maybe use there with the skull. I was like, you could use this one, but it's just a bit scary though. Sorry if you guys got a fright. And this one dude was like, people were like taking me seriously, like because it was a shot
got
of a
as many
field.
responses, like serious responses that were upset. Like, this isn't Pokemon at all. This isn't even.
Yeah, what the guy's like, what the fuck would you have a skull in a Pokemon game, you fucking idiot? And then one of them was a barrel, and the guy was like, what the hell would there be, just barrels sitting out in an open field, you moron? I was like,
Pokemon doesn't have barrels, idiot.
I've been playing Pokemon for 25 years and I have never seen a barrel in
I've
game
never
or
seen
otherwise.
one barrel.
One.
He pulls out a chart that says how many barrels are in Pokemon.
As you can see, after the Game Boy Advance era, they
Clearly.
really dropped off with their barrel placement.
If anything, there's been a decline in barrels over the years, sir.
So you got a point there. We do need more barrels.
I would like to receive the return of barrels, so maybe you have a point.
Makes a
I'd actually
30-minute
like to
video
apologize
essay.
for my previous statements. Yeah, then they fucking then the lo-fi beat starts and they start talking about like Pokemon needs barrels.
Hey guys, yeah, it's like, hey guys, it's me. Just wanted to talk about barrels in Pokemon games. We don't have enough of them.
Anyway, that was my tweet. That was my story about getting blown out by Pokemon fans.
Speaking of things that look like shit that shouldn't, there's been some stuff going around from the Cruella movie. And somebody took it's the climax of the movie.
That's
and
right, yeah.
The regular ones are dark as shit. You can barely see anything. But someone went in and cranked the brightness up on all of them, so you can kind of see. Oh, the regular stills, like from the movie, are just like dark as hell. You can barely see what's going on. Someone took them and increased the brightness on them so that you can kind of see what they were doing on set, just from a lighting standpoint. And it's.
They're fucking.
Disney is deliberately making movies barely watchable and dark to hide the fact that they're just putting like one main light that I have here on somebody and then shooting them on a green screen.
Yeah, no, they shot it like we're doing right now, which I set up.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, dude, fucking Beef Boys is doing more. Is like doing better shit than Disney. That cost $200 million to make. $200 million movies should not.
That movie cost $200 million.
So
I don't know if that one did, but like other shit
value.
like it does. Like the cost easy $200 million to make.
Dude, there's no
Cruella
love
cost
left
200 mil.
There's no love left in creation anymore. It's just like
not in the like the mainstream of movies at least.
But it's not even just Disney. Like there's just so many fucking. Ugh.
Cruella was 100 mil, in case you're wondering, and it earned 200 mil. So fuck
and
me,
so,
I guess.
Dude, who the fuck saw that? I don't know anyone that saw it.
Yeah, who was
I don't know either.
Who cares that much about fucking 101 Dalmatians?
Well,
They're
you gotta
annoying
think,
in
there
Kingdom
are
Hearts.
a lot of people. Yeah, right.
How much
But you
did
gotta
the
think there are
Cinderella
there are people who worship Disney movies harder than fucking religion. Like they have like Disney gangs and shit, and they will watch and just feed their money to Disney. Oh, we got a Mickey Mouse fucking cock ring. All right, here's $20. Put it on my dick.
I mean, I
That'd
love
be kind of
Disney.
good
Like,
actually, because the ears could cut both your balls. This is like a little shield.
You put on upside down. It's like an upside down cross, but an upside down Mickey. I mean, you're sinning. You're having sex. Sex is a sin.
I guess we were all like born and raised on Disney like everybody else, but like, you know, I still very much enjoy going to Disney. I still watch like most of the new movies. I have Disney Plus, rewatch old stuff all the time. Been to Disney World like a multitude of times, but like still, I don't understand the people that go as far as to like just like forgive them on all the dumb shit they do. And like I feel like they're just so big and have so much money that they just spend like twice as much as anybody else would spend on making the exact same movie. Like, Cruella shouldn't have cost $100 million. I feel like another studio could have made it for 30 or 40 million. But like,
well, you got to think they have what, Emma Stone, whatever the fuck, one of the Emmas.
Yeah, Emma Stone, I think.
I mean, if you don't know her name, she can't be worth that much.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, Emma Stone's an Oscar winner, so. But like the fucking green,
my fucking nuts could be an Oscar winner, bro.
Yeah.
Yo,
it was for
let's make
La
that
La Land is a
happen.
great movie.
God.
But like the Green Knight cost $15 million to make.
I mean, the Green Knight is very. I liked it a lot, but it was very much not everybody's cup of tea either. And,
No, I mean, I'm not talking cup of tea, but like just like how that movie looked. It looked fucking gorgeous.
Right, but there was like 20. There was like 20 people in the entire movie, and like. It's regarded like a lot of the reasons people don't like it is it's very anticlimactic and stuff, and not much is going on. So like it was pretty cheap to make. Like that makes sense.
But it shouldn't be that much cheaper than fucking Cruella.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I think La La Land was made for $30 million if memory serves.
That's a better example.
And that had Ryan Gosling, it had Emma Stone. It had J.K. Simmons. Not J.K. Simmons is Whiplash. No, he wasn't that.
J.K. Rowling.
He did. J.K. Rowling was in the movie. She had just a random cutaway just screeching about trans people.
Yeah, I don't like it. Just like, yep, still don't like them. All right.
It's just whip hands
Emma
back
Stone's
to
like, this is crazier than the time I met J.K. Rowling, and it cuts to her. I haven't seen La La Land, so I'm pretty sure it's like Family Guy.
If their salaries are included in that movie probably costs like fucking $10 million to make. They must have got some kind of box office deal for the most part. There's no way they got like
honestly,
a huge salary.
I wonder if
on
maybe
that.
there's like some kind of weird like legacy franchise thing where it's like, well, 101 Dalmatians is kind of a big thing for us.
It's $1 million per Dalmatian, except for the one that died.
Right. Yeah.
So they sold it to the banks, and they were like, well, it's going to cost $1 million per Dalmatian. We have to render each one, and each Dalmatian is going to cost $1 million to render. And the bank's like, all right.
Cool. Was it? All right, that's fine.
It's just a big fucking. I mean, honestly, a lot of it probably is like tax and like other, money being siphoned off in every which way because it's Disney, and people are probably like, I'm just gonna yoink some cash from these fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like they're just so big and have so much money that it's like they don't take a close look at what they're doing at all anymore.
Oh yeah, no.
And just like that's what I'm saying. Their movies cost twice as much as they should because they just like let money disappear because who cares?
Yeah, it's all going to cast and their directors, and I doubt it's going to their VFX people because
it's
Disney
not going to the lighting guy.
They tend to not like using
the green screen guy.
VFX studios that are unionized or anything because they can get away with overworking them.
That's why, that's why, like, you see them always using, like, in the Marvel movies and shit, they always use CG, because CG is not unionized as far as I know, so that's very cool for me, and Sabrina, but, like, makeup is, I think, set, like, background designers and stuff, so...
Pretty much everything is except for the VFX.
Yeah.
So you see these crazy ones where, like, I saw there was one from Black Widow, POC Widow, no, cut that.
Man, yo.
Leave that in. That was funny.
Okay, keep that in.
Yo, cuz, I'm gonna show you how to sound that. Yo, cuz, I'm gonna show you how to sound that.
But there's a shot from that where, like, Skojo's just sitting in a restaurant, and it's fucking green screen, and it's like, could you not just put her in a restaurant?
Like you have Universal Studios, you have Disney Studios, you have all of it. You couldn't at least build a set.
Just put it in a McDonald's.
Bare minimum.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's my thing, and obviously I'm not a film guy. This would be more a question for you, Andrew.
I'm not a film guy. I'm only a professional video editor. I don't know.
I'm not a film guy. Fucking goddamn, I lost my train of thought.
Bruh.
So listen, I'm not a film guy, but I do have a question for you, Andrew, since you are technically the film guy.
Shoot.
Isn't it like back in like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even the 2000s in most cases, when they were using a lot of practical effects, wasn't it cheaper to make movies? Why is it that now, this is like the most fucking boomer episode of Beef Boys ever.
I know.
Why is it now?
What is it with 2021? God damn it.
Back in my day, god damn it, we'd put fucking ScarJo inside of a giant penis and shit. That was the movie. Why is it that it's more
ScarJo's anal
expensive?
vor adventure.
Yeah. Why is it that it's more expensive to put these actors and actresses in front of a green screen rather than having them just sit inside of a fucking McDonald's and do the...
We're going to McDonald's.
Just do the movie.
Probably inflation.
I think there's probably a couple of reasons. One, inflation.
Okay.
Two, depending on what practical effects you're doing, like I think a lot of the early Star Wars, like the first Star Wars movie, a lot of that was practical, but it wasn't done. You know, Lord of the Rings did a ton of practical stuff, but they paid a shit ton for it because it was very, very detailed. You know, incredible work. And not that the work on Star Wars wasn't incredible, but it was done by people who were just
that
like,
movie sucked. Nobody liked Star Wars.
They were just like, this looks kind of cool, and they would just like, because I think the Han Solo gun was an old Ruger that they just put like PVC pipe on and painted it black, and they're like, space gun.
That's like 90% of the ships as well. They're just like
little
let's
kids. Look, a guy space guy.
And then
the movie.
But now you've got you're paying more for your actors and whatnot.
Right.
But I mean, they were paying pretty big bucks for a lot of people back in the day too. But with green screen, you have to pay your VFX team, and then you have to pay, you know, your coloring team to add a whole extra level of coloring, whatever the VFX team did. So you're paying more departments for just a scene instead of just like either having a set built or you know, having
but that would
a
still be
locations
cheaper,
thing.
wouldn't it? Because otherwise they'd just do the cheap one.
Well,
It depends. It depends.
Lord of the
on,
Rings, the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy costs like 170 million to produce, I think.
Yeah.
And which
so
you know,
two Corellas.
We'll call it inflation. You know, say 300 million. That's probably over.
Yeah.
That's probably inflating inflation. But let's call it 300
right.
million if you made it today. That's literally you get 12 hours of like record-breaking film out of that has garnered like billions for basically the price of like 1.5
Corellas.
or two, like 2.25 like Corella DeVilles or whatever the fuck. Like,
And I think we both know what we'd rather watch. That's right. This is Beef Boys' official endorsement for Corella by Disney.
Yep.
That's what's up.
And you know what? I Ryan Kinder, he sent me this video of like this
I'm gonna say
this
Ryan
HBO. Yeah, right. Ryan Gosling sent me this video. Ryan Kinder, I think you boys know him. He's Twitter dude.
He's a beautiful man.
Yeah, he sent me this video from like the 80s of like HBO like creating. It was for like a fucking like bumper. Like it wasn't even for like a movie or like a show. It was just literally for like a bumper. It was like their logo or whatever, and just like they were building it, and it was just like this little fucking diorama, and it was so fucking beautiful. And it's just like, it's insane to me that in the 80s there was like this passion for like creating something, because like at that point you're creating something that's going to be like appreciated, like what you said, right, James, about like the Lord of the Rings being made, and these are like cult classic movies that are going to be, they are cemented in our culture as human beings. It will be for a very long time.
Yep.
I doubt people are going to remember a movie like fucking Cruella 40 years from now. They're going to be like, oh, which one, the one from 2022 or the one from 4090, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, just like the video games analogy before, like you see, I feel like on a small scale, like YouTube is like an incubation in a much faster time frame of what happens to industry, creative industry, when all the money floats to the top and you just like start algorithmically feeding titans and let everyone else just fucking struggle. And just like video games, movies are at a point now where like Disney is doing this as like an upload schedule almost. Like Disney
Pretty
wants
much.
to make X amount of movies a year, 3, 4, 5 movies a year, because
that,
they can, just like Dream can bank on 30 million views on a Minecraft Let's Play just because he has some kind of, I mean, all he has is basically like a very strong community around him, and what makes him big is his like attachment to other creators and then people attached to that community. What makes Disney big is all the characters they have and how they interact and all of the different memories that we all have from them, which builds a community around it, which just drives people towards anything they make regardless. So if they can make a shitty movie and still spend 100 million on it, and they're probably embezzling money out the fucking ass through every movie they make, honestly. And if they can make 5 of those a year and then make double back off each of them, why take your time instead of just hit your upload schedule? Like,
exactly.
There's kind of like an analogy back to, I mean, fucking creative industries are just so, all of them are like oligarchs at this point. There's like 2, 3, 4 fucking giant firms that own everything. They produce everything, and they have nothing but profit motive and embezzling money to their fucking executives at the top of their mind. That's it.
Yeah, I think
that's why we use green screens.
I think the way to like an easier way to look at where Disney's priorities are is most of it is with money. That's what they can make movies quicker with green screens, and they can crank them out just like James said. You can crank those out quicker, and you can. I mean, the Oscars suck, but you can kind of look at what's getting Oscar nominated. Just what Disney owns, because Disney owns a ton of shit. But the ones, I think Disney bought Fox, right? So Fox Searchlight.
Yeah.
Searchlight was making a lot of really good movies. I think they still do produce some really good stuff. So Fox Searchlight and then Pixar are really the only 2 things that I can think of under Disney that are like making movies kind of through Disney, but like it's their name that'll pop up when you watch a movie. Those are the only ones that you really see popping up in Golden Globes or the Oscars. The Avengers the Avengers get stuff every once in a while for like VFX because
makeup or some random shit.
Yeah.
But
the blue guy looked
well,
really
a lot
cool.
of these don't really hit the I don't think Marvel shit was even allowed to like really win shit for like a while. Like it just didn't. It got its own. They invented an award thing for it. It was like, I don't know, like
most
event movie or whatever the fuck they call
like
it.
That, yeah.
And then I don't think animation was allowed to win anything mainstream up until recently, or it still can't.
It's
so
just
Disney
best
really doesn't
animated,
have any like award. Disney has very little award success for just like the titan of entertainment that they are. But I feel like Pixar and Fox Searchlight at this point are still able to produce good stuff because they're kind of protected and they're unionized and they have deep roots. So Disney isn't able to gut them. So they're just gonna wait for those studios to some of those people are going to get new jobs, some are going to retire, some will take positions at Disney, and then they'll be able to put their Disney henchmen in those positions, and then that's when you'll see them turn over into what Disney has done to every other studio they've acquired into shit. Because if they could gut them right now and put a bunch of people in them to make them turn out 5 Pixar movies a year, they totally would. It's just that they're most likely protected, and they just need to wait for them to leave before they ruin them.
God, I hope
that's
that
like what
doesn't
fucking
happen.
Activision just did with the Tony Hawk team and the Spyro team and the Crash. They took them all and just dissolved them into Call of Duty.
Yep.
Is it just me, or has like there been 50 Pixar movies come out in the last year, or have I just been super out of the loop? Because there's like the meme where it's like, oh, all the current string of Pixar movies are all like people from like different cultures who turn into weird thing.
Like, I don't think there's been a ton of them, but that is a very funny like line of things that have happened.
Because there was
Indian
Soul,
man turns to cheeseburger,
and there was the Italian one where was he Italian or Greek where he turns into the sea monster, and now there's the Chinese one where she turns into a red panda or something.
Wasn't there the Mexican one where they like visited the city of souls or something like that? It was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was, it was a wonderful movie.
That was the last one I've seen, I think. I like that one.
That movie was sick as fuck. I mean, they're good premises. It just seems like they're kind of just applying them across as many cultures as they can. Which maybe they really just do want to do. Yeah, or maybe they really do want to do a good tribute to them. But it just seems like it's a copy and paste formula that's just winning.
Yeah, I think the last one I watched was Coco.
If you boys were in a Pixar
about.
movie, if you boys were in a Pixar movie, what would you turn into?
Straight.
that would be your movie. What's the plot there?
Straight.
That's it.
It's okay to be straight. All right, James, Andrew, what would you turn into?
I'd make the movie down, and so instead of going up, I would get like a little girl boy. I was gonna say I was trying to think of what the boy version. I was trying to think of what the boy version of Girl Scouts would be, and it's Boy Scouts. But instead, I said girl boy. I would get like a little Boy Scout to come to my house and just like feed me until I get so heavy that I start like collapsing through the ground down to hell.
It's about Nikocado.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
And then I find my dog like in a hole in the ground or some shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, he's down here.
Andrew, what would you turn into in your Pixar movie?
In my Pixar movie?
Yeah. And what would it be called?
You said that like Christian.
My movie. Oh, jeez.
My Pixar movie. I'll turn into the Sonichu, the Electro. What if Pixar picked up the rights to Sonichu?
That'd be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Sonichu.
Would you be mad about Disney meddling with the creative process if that's what happened, James?
Wait, what?
If they forced Pixar to make a movie about Sonichu, they're like, my son, he's obsessed with the Sonichu thing, and all the kids are into it.
Honestly, I feel like maybe not like a Disney studio picking that up, but like, I feel like that might work if someone like paid a couple mil for the rights.
Oh,
and
yeah,
really...
The internet would go nuts. Everybody would see that movie just out of, if anything, curiosity.
Dude, just
feel like
imagine
they
someone
could do
like... Someone like Drake, or just someone who's just got like disgusting amounts of money, just doesn't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, gives a couple mil to like, hey, make a fan animation of Sonichu. We're not selling it. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
Wait, he did
honestly,
that.
if I was Elon Musk, I'd do shit like that.
No, Drake did do that.
I want to see a well-animated Sonichu movie.
Yeah, Drake produced that. There was this TV show from like the 90s or 2000s. I can't remember what it was, but it was
Degrassi. The Baby?
No, it was the baby. I'm sorry, I can't remember, but it was a show that like kind of ended abruptly, I think, and he was like, I love that show, so he just like paid for a second season to be made, which is like kind of a Chad move. But but imagine you just did that, you're like, fuck it, I wish there was more of this show. Here's a couple milli just up front, but he does that with Sonichu instead. He's like, I wish there was more Sonichu comics.
He was like,
bails Chris Chan out of jail. Just the voice.
Gives her like the best criminal lawyer you've ever seen. He like just absolutely sweeps the case.
Chris Chan, you gotta make this movie for me.
Okay, I'll try, Mr. Drake.
Chris Chan gets out of jail, and like while she was in jail, people were like shaving, you know, like she was getting like shaving the heart like into her hairline like Drake, but like she got it like pen and stick tattooed.
Certified lover lesbian soul in a man's body.
Yeah. Fucking
You are so super fucked up.
Certified mommy lover.
fuck.
It's the cover's just all the emojis, but it's all the old women ones.
No, it's a share Barb's fucking pregnant.
All right,
with
so
her invalid child.
Fuck. Courtney, you take the wheel on that one. You use your discretion. Yeah, Courtney, you figure out if we leave that one in. Before we're gonna do a big long special episode of AI Dungeon. But first, I want to round this conversation out with a question that I had before, but I didn't want to interrupt. Andrew, do you think that also, and I don't know if this is the case, do you think that also maybe like with practical stuff you maybe get like a few attempts at it and really have to be like on to like get it right, and maybe they just and even if it's cheaper to do it like 5 times than to CGI it and they could get it right, it's like they just don't feel like in like maybe the actors don't want to prep, the directors don't want to prep, they don't want to have to like, I don't know. Do you think there's something?
Yeah. No, absolutely. If you know you have a house blowing up, or because I mean I think the Battle of Helm's Deep, when the wall blows up, they in the behind the scenes appendices, like Peter Jackson talks, like we really only had one shot at it.
Yeah.
And like the river coming into Isengard, they only had one shot at it. So if you can do all that with CGI, that's going to save you so much time. So at 100% shit like that they are doing just to like cut time. And it's because, I mean, we're at a place where someone can easily make it look like something blew up or some shit happened with just a green screen and some VFX.
I can add to that as well that as somebody who's worked in the industry, you're competing. So, like, with anything practical, it has to be on site. Like, it has to be made, most likely made within America or, you know, wherever it's being shot.
Yeah.
But VFX can be outsourced anywhere in the world. So when I was at a studio who was in contract to a very large company, we were competing with people in like India and China who charge fucking beans. So like we were getting paid fuck all. And
beans.
even because, you know, it's quite expensive to live in New Zealand, really. So we were getting paid like really not much above minimum wage kind of shit, I'd say. I can't remember what the hourly was, but it wasn't a lot, because that's like, I mean, maybe our boss was just fucking yoink all the money for himself. But we were compete. We did lose a lot of contracts to like India and China and Korea.
Not that those people shouldn't be fucking like also getting their bag and doing their animating, which you're not saying at all. I think that companies that are founded in a country with like laws and unions and minimum pays and all this shit should have to. And this is a way to actually like bring competition back to a place where you can't just pay someone. You know, Amazon can't open up a new fucking warehouse in Tijuana like they just did, where they pay someone $1 an hour to do the shit to do the exact same job that they're doing in American warehouses, except they can ship to Mexico and then ship into America, so they can ship from China to Mexico to America and avoid the tariff that is China to America. And all of that while they can also pay someone $1.25 compared to $13 and make them shit and pee in bags and drag their friends' dead bodies off to the side of the fucking conveyor belt.
And turn them into Frito chips.
Exactly. But I think companies that are founded and you know, enjoy all the fucking resources and tax benefits and blah 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 of like countries like America or New Zealand or England should have to pay anybody anywhere in the world what they would the people in that fucking country. Because like it's just so ridiculous that you can, not even that people can do it for cheaper in other countries, but that they can basically just be forced to be exploited, and that fucks them, but they're so desperate they don't care, and it fucks you because now you basically can't compete whatsoever unless you want to stoop to a level of desperation, which, you know, isn't anybody's fault.
Another
basically what James is saying is keep America white.
Keep America great again. Another fun fact, which is that in New Zealand, I think that because the government was so desperate to get more of that juicy, beautiful Hobbit money, that I think it was, I don't think it was for Lord of the Rings, I think it was for The Hobbit. They introduced a bunch of laws within New Zealand that allows studios within New Zealand to exploit CG artists. I can't remember the particulars of it, but I think it meant you could like have really crazy like hours to work each week. And maybe like let you pay lower than normal. I could be wrong on the pay thing, but it was essentially a lot of things that were like, this lets you really fucking wring the shit out of people just so that, you know, some of the big studios in New Zealand could, I guess could compete with these other places around the world. So
well, that's
so that was interesting. Well, so I was dealing with the ramifications from that when I was working in the studio, even though the Hobbit movies had been out for like several years when I got to work, just because the laws are all still in place. I think they might have repealed some of them because I think people were like, all right, the Hobbit's done now. We can we have money again?
Middle Earth for the first time in its visual conception just left New Zealand and is now being filmed in the UK, I think just in Britain. Because Britain's film industry is just destroyed after the huge failure that is Brexit. And they basically just offered Amazon like you know, in insane. I think they're almost paying them to make it there, not even just like tax breaks or something. Because it's such a huge production, like it's employing like thousands of people, and they basically were just like, we'll pay you to. So after they finished season 1 in New Zealand, and now season 2 and forward is being filmed in Britain because the British government was just like, hey, fuck those guys, come here. And of course, like Peter Jackson wouldn't do that because New Zealand is, in anybody's opinion who knows it, an essential ingredient to Middle Earth. But like, of course,
and also New Zealand is his city. To quote a wise man.
New Zealand is his city. That's true.
Hey, Jeff Bezos, get a load of these.
Hey, Jeff Bezos from everyone in New Zealand, have a couple of these.
Hey, Jeff Bezos, this is a threat.
Jesus. Courtney, add some fucking, what was that guy, Wong, who did the, always used to do like the action scenes on YouTube? Freddie Wong?
Oh, Justin Wang.
Yeah, Rocket Jump.
Yeah, Justin Wang.
No, Freddie Wong,
yeah, do Freddie Wong muzzle flash on Dopex's gun.
A quick little PNG flash.
Courtney, edit like a full ransom tape and like send it to Jeff Bezos. And like make it really
put
serious.
Dopex's full address and phone number.
Yeah.
Also
here,
that.
Bezos. Want some of that Amazon money? All right, should we do AI dungeon?
Let's fucking go.
To bust.
All right, should we transfer over there?
Oh
yeah, take us into hyperdrive.
I got us. All right, Courtney, you know what to do. Hit it on the drop.
When you not game, you touch a hater.
That hurts every time.
It doesn't get any easier. You'd think you'd get used to it, but it hurts every time.
And now, it's time for Beef Boys AI Dungeon.
There we go.
There we go. Orbis is home to countless star systems in a variety of alien cultures. Three distinct factions war for control of the unclaimed territories.
Three distinct shouties war for control.
Three distinct shouties with exaggerated swagger walk through the world of Orbis.
Each with their own noble and morally gray reasons. The united planets of Earth who seek to end violent conflict. That doesn't seem morally gray.
You can't just say morally gray. Like you have to actually show that.
The hand who gains strength from chaos, and the Empire who have Darth Vader.
Who had Darth Vader?
Or what's their character name?
Call him Giblets McSquinty.
Oh, it's too long.
Okay, hold on. But before we choose the name, I feel like this should have been the original. Let's choose our faction.
Okay.
What's the Illuminated? They didn't even explain that. So the United Planets of Earth are like pacifist. The Hand like chaos, and the Empire are like a malicious.
The hand. Can I make it? Which of these factions is the closest to the Gerblin Empire?
Probably the United Planet of Earth.
Let's do the Hand, and our character is Ray William Johnson. Let's play this realistically here.
What if all right, hear me out. Well, don't hear me out. Watch me.
Mojo?
Watch me right.
Nay.
Watchmojo.com.
Hold on.
The Hand from Smash Bros.
Smash Bros. Melee.
We're the Hand from Smash Bros. Melee, the Hand.
I like that. Ginger Hand.
I like it. Let's go with it.
All right.
Let's test the limits of this AI
Make
dungeon.
it other hand. Yeah.
That's good. Don't correct the capital.
Yeah, no, fuck that. We're leaving it.
Courtney, make my hand really big. Make my hand really big.
Just put it closer to camera.
I hit the wrong sound effect.
Do that.
This is who we're playing as.
Okay. We've picked our name and our gender. What about our race? What would a hand be?
Sorry.
Illuminated?
Human.
Human.
Throw a little curveball in there. He's a
he's a human hand.
Yeah,
he's a human hand.
He's wearing a little glove.
What class is our hand?
Hand. Mech pilot.
Hand pilot.
Starting location, the hand. Location. Starting faction.
From The Simpsons.
No.
Churs.
Yeah, let's just go churs.
Churs.
World events. Fuck it.
Alright.
You are the hand from the from the game.
No, it actually. What the fuck?
I thought it was saying you are the hand faction, but it was. This is gonna be confusing. You are a shadowy being with power to influence the minds of others. You travel to the planet Churs and have begun to set up a network of spies and contacts to gather information and spread your influence. In Churs, you have a new form of currency called the Smoke Stone, also known as marijuana, with each stone being worth a single silver coin. What do you do?
Also,
I'm just smoking the stone, bruv. We say, man, I could really go for an empanada.
Yeah.
Man, I could really go for an empanada.
You were not expected to survive the trip to the planet Churs, but a lucky shot from an archer brought down the beast attacking you. The trooper who killed it tossed you a silver coin.
So, ask Trooper where I can get an empanada around here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this isn't an empanada.
Yeah, do you know any good empanada joints around here?
Hey, Trooper Archer.
Hey, Trooper Archer, who just took down the great beast coming at me.
What is an empanada, by the way?
It's like a Mexican. It's kind of like a hot pocket.
It's
but
just a Mexican.
It's like it's like it's got little sweet apples in there. They're really tasty. It's a Mexican. It's a Mexican man.
The archer
completely ignoring it.
The archer takes another shot at the chieftain, whose armor saves him from the headshot. The port side diner on the far side of the city.
That is kind of badass. He's like in the middle of a fight, and he's like, the port side diner, far side of the city.
Thanks.
Best empanadas in town.
Portside Diner is located on the Aruba Republic, a loose alliance of species striving for self-determination who are ultimately ruled by the Uwais Kingdom. In other words, pirates.
So did we go there?
Yeah, did we get to the diner?
I guess so.
Order an empanada. Order an empanada. Order a nice cinnamon apple empanada.
With your worst pirate accent.
Taco.
With your make him do it with his like a terrible pirate accent.
Yeah, he's trying to fit in.
He's trying to fit in.
Yeah.
This AI is shitting itself.
I know it is.
You order a nice cinnamon apple empanada with pirate accent.
With Padre accent.
No pirate accent.
Here, I'll be the hostess or whoever's taking the order. The empanada, a popular foodstuff on the vessel, costs 10 smoke stones.
How many smoke stones do we have? Check Smokestone's wallet.
Check Smokestone wallet.
Check, please.
It's just like a little bag, a little Ziploc bag.
Yeah, it's just a little leather fucking
Make
wallet.
it a crypto wallet.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Smokestone crypto.
You check your Smokestone wallet. Smokestone wallet is empty. You have no more stones to spend. You cannot afford the empanada. Good thing you have backup.
Oh, what's the backup?
What's the backup?
More.
I do like how
hang on, just
we're trying to get an empanada.
Say it out loud.
That.
Just say that out loud. Good thing I have backup. I just want to see what it does.
Say sorry, sorry, hombre. A bit light on Smokestones right now.
Why am I capitalizing everything? Good thing I have backup. More.
Sorry, hombre.
Meta Knight. Get out here.
Steve!
Show me your moves.
Martha and Meta Knight emerged from either side of the booth, looking pained.
What's wrong?
There's 2 punching bags hanging from the ceiling. Martha said that.
That was Marth.
That was Marth.
ask Marth if he has 10 smoke stones so we can buy an empanada.
Hey, bud, can I bum a smoke stone?
That's a
Can I bum a smoke stone?
That's a really funny idea. Like you're like, luckily I've got backup until your fucking cronies come in through separate doors, and he's just like,
hey man, can I
have $10?
I swear I'll pay you
I really
back,
need
bro,
this
I swear.
empanada. It's a famous stuffed food item on the vessel.
You say,
I want it.
Marth, you have 10 smoke stones. I need me an empanada.
Actually, there's a coin purse on the counter 5 steps to your right.
Thanks.
He says as he walks over and grabs it.
How should we play this?
Meta Knight asks.
You should look at the empanada on the tray and lick your lips and say, "Yum, that looks good."
We haven't paid for it yet, though.
I know, but you're fantasizing. You're just, "Yum, that looks good."
He's thinking what's it gonna be like in like 3 minutes.
Yeah. This is just a passive move, while we're on the way.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I like how this sci-fi fantasy epic just turned into us
buying an empanada.
The quest for the empanada. And it's funny because it's just like a fucking floating hand. It's like, I really like an empanada.
You see a cinnamon apple pastry on a plate sitting on the counter of a high-end booth. Take
Wait,
it.
now it's just on a booth?
You take it.
Nice.
Oh,
We gotta amp up this story. You grab the empanada and take a bite out of it. It tastes delicious. You quickly finish off the pastry despite the protestations of Marth.
Eat shit, Marth. This is my empanada. Eat shit, stupid anime bitch, Marth.
Marth reluctantly agrees to the plan. There is no plan. We ate it. Marth is a beta, in other words. You exit the bathroom area and find several members of the portside diner staring at you.
No, I think he literally. The plan was he literally eats shit.
Yeah, I think he just ate shit. We should tell them that. We should tell them that. Say, point to Marth and say, this guy just ate shit.
Yo, this guy's a fucking weirdo.
Just say, I just had a great empanada, but this guy ate shit.
I like how Marth agrees to the plan. Okay. Yeah, okay, boss. Sure thing, boss. I like this feces off the floor.
Why is he a mob? He's like a little mobster.
You point to Marth and you point to Marth and say,
"Yo, what the fuck? This anime bitch just say some shit."
They look at Marth and realize who you are. They then continue staring.
Ornate, put like a little shit PNG in my hand.
Yeah, just say Marth consumes shit.
Marth consumes copious amounts of feces.
Marth continues to consume copious amounts of poo.
James, can I get some Minecraft eating sounds while I do this?
I took that off my soundboard, but I'll hit you with what I replaced it with.
Yes. Alright, there we go.
Alright, Marth continues to consume copious amounts of poof and therefore is not recognized. You strut over to the closest punching bag and begin swinging. What? Hitting the bag as hard as you can. You feel it reverberate with each hit. We thought the same fucking thing.
That's the punches landing. Oh, he's going for the combo.
Finger the bag.
It's the one from the home run contest.
Finger the bag. You feel a satisfying thud as you kick the bag. Good. You're in a fighting mood now. A group of thugs enter, led by a hulking behemoth. Hey, it's Donkey Kong!
So he's finally here.
Hey, Donkey Kong, so you're finally here. What's the next line?
Just say that. Beep, 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 beep.
Donkey Kong walking in.
Marth ate all your shit already.
Hey, Donkey Kong, so you're finally here. Marth ate all your shit already, dumb monkey bitch.
Who the fuck are you?
Kiss him.
Kiss him on his lips, and then say, your love is brighter than a golden banana.
You grab Donkey Kong by the tie, pull him in close, kiss him on his lips, and exclaim,
"Your love is brighter than the golden banana."
What the fuck?
DK says, pushing you off.
You're fucking weird.
You don't reply and simply walk away. When Donkey Kong turns his back, you grab Meta Knight and use his side B drill to drill out Donkey Kong's ass and kill him dead.
You did side B, like BE?
What the fuck? What is happening?
Smash Bros. Melee is a party game for 1 to 4 players in which each player controls an avatar who fights in an arena to rack up points.
Why is it giving us a synopsis of Smash Bros. Melee?